welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend or had a wonderful weekend. On today's topic, we're going to be covering the cancellation of certain cartoon characters, and I'm just going to be reading what I see and then give you my opinion on the end of what I've read. So we're starting it off with Miss Piggy, but she's actually not the starting of the fictional characters being cancelled. The starting of it happened with Dr. Seuss. He's being cancelled from the grave, and 6 of his books were deemed racially inappropriate for children, even though these are books that no one probably touched or picked off the shelf in years, or even watched any of their cartoon years other than The Grinch. I'm pretty sure no one even knows the name of his other books. But yeah, he's being cancelled from the grave. So, why is Miss Piggy cancelled? She is the latest character to be targeted by our special snowflakes who, well, they're not wrong in this part where Mrs. Piggy abuses Kermit. However, canceling her doesn't really make a difference. I mean, they could have simply, I said I wouldn't be telling you my opinion right now. So, I'm loading the article right now. And we also have Speedy Gonzales, Peter Pan, Pepe Lee, and apparently Dumbo on that list. So we're going to start off with Miss Piggy, but I'm going to give you a little explanation to why Pepe Lee, yeah. So the reason for Pepe Lee to be cancelled is, and the person's tweet reads, he grabs, kisses a girl stranger repeatedly without consent and against her will. She struggles mightily to get away from him, but he won't release her. He locks the door to prevent her from escaping. And some users suggested that Miss Piggy showcased similar behavior. They claim her actions towards Kermit the Frog was problematic and called for cancellation. So the upcoming film of Space Jam, they're no longer going to be featuring Pepe inside, even though he had a scene where he was a bartender and he starts hitting on a customer, started kissing her hand when she practically beats him up and puts him on a swirl chair, which he swirls around, and LeBron James comes in, stops the chair from swirling around, and James and Bugsy Bunny have a conversation with Pepe, telling him it is wrong to treat women like that or treat the other toons like that. I really think that was something amazing to teach kids, since we're also worried about what are kids learning from the cartoon. So that was something that they should not have cut out from the scene, because they were teaching kids that it's wrong to do so, but they cut that scene out. And even the actress who was supposed to play the woman at the bar, even she was a bit disappointed in their decision to cut her scene from the movie. Now, following the cancellation of that, they came for Miss Piggy, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you would know her as Baby Piggy and some of the wonderful adventures she has taken you on. So one Twitter user tweeted read, Miss Piggy should be the next one cancelled. She would not leave poor Kermit the Frog alone. He repeatedly told her no. Shake my head. Another added, never thought I'd see the day when Pepe Le Pew would get cancelled. Can't wait to see Miss Piggy cancelled for physically and emotional abuse towards Kermit. She's been karate chopping him since the 70s. Poor little bastard. Are the Muppets cancelled? The news comes after several wonders if the Muppets was getting cancelled on February 19. The Muppets made it to Disney Plus, but the viewers were greeted with a warning first, as the network had deemed the show offensive. The disclaimer read, this program includes negative depiction and or mistreatment of people or culture. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Due to this message, many wondered if the Muppets would be the next show to get shelved. As of now, no such announcement has been made. So we're not for sure if they're just going to take her away completely, or if they're just going to put a warning at the front of it, or maybe they can change her character. My opinion on Pepe Lee and Mrs. Piggy are you can change their character a little bit. For Pepeli, maybe give him a wife and let him show all the love and affection he has towards his wife. And for Mrs. Piggy, well, we all know like she and Kermit are a thing, so maybe let her be more loving and caring towards Kermit. And what people have to realize that back in the days, these were appropriate behavior, but now it's not. So even back then, people laughed, people thought it was funny, but now it's not. So instead of canceling it right out, what you can do is change their characters a little bit and work with the people to find stuff that you can put add to the characters' personality that people actually like. That's something that they can do instead of just canceling the characters outright. Now, the second person on our list to talk about is Peter Pan, and I actually have a good idea on why they're canceling him. Now, without reading the article, and you should go check this for yourself, even though a lot of people can pretty much guess straight off the bat why Peter Pan is being cancelled, and he's not necessarily being cancelled. What they did, Disney Plus Kids profiles. The movie is removed from the Disney Plus Kids profiles and it's still on the adults profile. So if you want to show your kids the movie, well, if you have a profile of your own, you can load it on there and show it to your kids. However, it's no longer there for the kids to just pick and watch. Why, if you ask? It is because there's a scene in Peter Pan where apparently they depicted something racially insensitive, and that was the scene where when the Indians were red-faced, smoking a pipe which they offered to the children. And I would just like to say Princess Lily was one of the first the Amerindian princess, I might add, and in Guyana, we call them Amerindian. So she was one of the first Amerindian princess that I've seen right there next to Pocahontas. Pretty much the only two Amerindian princess. And to take her off of the kid's profile, they're not taking her away completely. But if they do, people also need to realize that there is an Amerindian princess in there. And that was really nice to see her there. So Peter Pan is being cancelled because of that. You can't necessarily say cancelled because there isn't any more information at the moment about whether they're going to remove him off completely. I mean, there is a warning at the front of the movie before you watch it, and it's off the kid's profile, but it's still there. You can still see it along with Miss Piggy. There's just a warning there. Pepe Lee, you can't. Well, he's not going to be in the new Space Jam sequel. And Speedy Gonzales. So we're actually going to see why Speedy Gonzales is being cancelled. I'm not exactly sure about this one. I have my speculations, but I definitely need to check this one out. But before we check it out, because I'm waiting for it to load, anyone remembers the Muppet Babies book where we have a story, Baby Piggy's Mermaid Tale? If you guys don't know it, so it's basically baby Piggy was in the bathtub when her nanny was telling her to come out, but she wanted to stay longer. The nanny told her she'd turn into a fish. She didn't believe it, and then she swished her tail and she turned into a fish, a mermaid to be more precise. But she was no longer in the bathtub, she was in the ocean. There she met the yes fish, and she also met Pearl. She was invited to a purple Purpose Picnic. The Purple Purpose Picnic was a festival of fun and food, and she got seaweed soup, deep sea pizza, peanut butter and jellyfish sandwich. For dessert, she had coral cupcakes, and then she ate periwinkle pudding, which made her sick. And she had to go see a doctor. While she was at the doctor, she got a pink pill. The doctor told her to sit still, don't touch anything. Of course, she got up. She saw a bottle that said, "Do not open." She opened it, and it released the sea sippers. The sea sippers sucked everything in. They ate all the food, drank all the water inside the ocean, and now the ocean was empty, and they barely had puddles of water, so all the sea creatures were gathered together. She climbed on top of a big blue rock that turned out to be Blubbery Blue the whale, and she told Blubbery Blue her story. Blubbery Blue started to cry, and the whale cried and cried until she filled the whole ocean again. And then she woke up and she was in the bathtub. It was just a dream. She remembered what Pearl said about listening to her inside voice and thinking about it, and she thought, should I get out of the bathtub or should I stay in? She got out and went to bed. Anyway, that was one of my favorite stories, and I just give you a speed run through. I think there's a video with someone reading the stories on YouTube. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to check again. So, Speedy Gonzalez, here we come. So apparently we have these Twitter activists. Many have called out Speedy Gonzalez for being a racist, stereotypical depiction of Mexicans. His appearance and accent were heavily scrutinized by Twitter activists, but they were quickly shut down by the Mexican community. Speedy Gonzalez cancelled for being racist. We love Speedy Gonzalez. He's a bit like a nation hero to us. So I mean, if you have the Mexican themselves saying that, oh, he's not offensive, I'm pretty sure there are a few who would say he's offensive, but if they're saying that he is not offensive, then why are these people out here trying to say he's offensive? I say a lot of white knighting these days, where there are a lot of people who aren't even a part of the community that is supposedly being offended by it. For example, I am not offended by Pepe Lee's actions. I know it's wrong. A lot of people know it's wrong, and my views on it is that people these days, they're letting cartoons, they're letting TVs, they're letting the phones raise their children. It's like these days, your kid's crying, give him a tablet, give her a tablet. That's it. That shuts them up. And it's not these cartoons' job to raise your kids, because what next? Are they going to come for Tom and Jerry? I mean, Jerry and Tom, they beat the hell out of each other. That's bad. I mean, you shouldn't beat your siblings, you shouldn't beat other children. But of course, Tom and Jerry depicts these stuff. Are you going to say that Tom and Jerry is bad for children? What more are they going to come for? It's really, really frustrating now. They're just cartoons. There's nothing. There are some stuff bad about them that we can change, but taking them off shelves, just getting rid of them completely. I've mentioned this before. In the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, it's a different time from now. A lot of people, they've changed their views on certain topics. What used to be funny, what used to be hilarious back then, it's no longer hilarious now, and that's okay. But instead of taking everything off the shelf, instead of pretending that it didn't happen, which I think a lot of people are trying to do, the best thing that you can do is try to move forward and try to change some of these stuff, try to make it better in a sense. So if you don't like something, instead of trying to take it away for everyone else, maybe try to find a way in how you can change it. Look at it and think to yourself, how can I make this better, instead of just going, oh, cancel this. Canceling isn't making a difference. It's just taking everything and pushing them into a vault. And what's going to happen when that vault's full? What's going to happen when you practically cancel everything? A lot of humor, a lot of jokes, they're dark. If you actually pay attention to it, it is very, very dark. Because people make fun of pain, they make fun of misery, and I think a lot of reasons why we saw Miss Piggy beating up Kermit as funny back then, because it was just something that they wanted to laugh about. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys like it, and please stop going around canceling stuff that's not making a difference. Instead, try to change it to make it better. Stop canceling it, because canceling won't make much of a difference. Anyway, that's all for the video. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend and that you're all doing great. Hope to see you guys again in the future video. You can go ahead and click subscribe so that oh, you also have to click the notification button. Goodbye.